I'm here today with Managing Director Ian Chalmers of Alkane Resources. How are you today, Ian?
Good morning, Tracy. I'm great, thank you.
Well, I personally love that you're a multi-commodity play. Okay, just myself as an investor, and specifically with gold, there's a lot of people also asking about what's happening with gold prices and what you expect here in the next, say, 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, my crystal balls on gold sort of cracked a few about April this year. It definitely decided not to work very well. It's a tough one. We think we're at the bottom with gold price. I think it's very similar to the rare earths. I think we're at the bottom. I think even what happens in the US in the next 6 months probably is already factored into the gold price. So I believe it'll probably stabilise where it's at now and maybe start to creep forward again going to 2014, 2015. But I wouldn't really be out there strongly promoting right now. What you've got to have with gold is a cost structure that enables you to make profits at this kind of this gold price. And luckily that's where we're at. Being helped a bit by the exchange rates again now. The Aussie dollar starting to finally sort of creep down again, which gives us a better Aussie gold price. So you can make money in gold, but you've got to be pretty sharp.
Okay, so just reiterating again for our audience, you have some of the most substantial leadership in the entire industry. Also, we're looking at revenue from gold February of next year, correct?
Yes, correct. That's it. Yeah.
Potential production as early as 2016, and believe me, for all of you listeners out there, that is about as fast as anybody is going to come online for producing rare earths next, yes?
I would agree with that, yes.
Okay, is there anything else that I'm missing other than the zirconium and niobium? Do you want to mention another advantage regarding that, Ian?
Look, Tracy, I think it's much what I've just said. The fact that we've put so much work into it over this long period of time now, I mean, people often ask us, why has it taken so long? But it just does. These projects just don't happen overnight. They're complex metallurgy, they're complex markets. You really have to take product out to your consumer. So you can't just have a process that you think works and say, yes, we'll sign off offtake agreements. You've actually got to present your customer with product. And that's why you need to run pilot plant, and that's why we think we've got a big advantage at this stage. We've been running that pilot plant for 5 years. So we've got the chemistry really right. And that improvements we talked about early on with the rare earth improvements, that's come about because of the pilot plant and what we've been able to do. So we think that just puts us in a very strong position now.
Okay, speaking of strong positions, let's talk about your funding. Can you just give us an overview about how much capital you have in the bank and where you are moving forward? Because we know we have a number of players out there that are trying to go to the market for substantial amounts of capital in very difficult economic times for the resource sector. Yep. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, I think right now we've got about 60 million Aussie dollars in the bank. We've probably got 30 million to go to spend just to get Tomingley into production, but then of course the cash starts to come back. So not huge money, but substantial money, substantial returns. With Dubbo, yeah, it's a serious project. The actual capital cost, including all the contingencies, about $1 billion. And we've been working on the financing of that now for most of this year, for 12 months. And we've got some good advisors. We've got Sumitomo Mitsui Bank out of Japan, they're with us, Credit Suisse. And we're putting together the package, which we're a mixture of maybe strategic investment, ECA type funding, those sort of things. And we think it'll take us again much of next year to put that into a package that we can sell. We can go out to the market and say, yep, we've got the financing in place. But you're right, it's not easy, but I think attitudes are changing, and for good projects, the funding is there.
Okay. We both know you are a leader in this sector. Can you tell us what benchmarks we should be looking forward to you achieving here in the next, say, 6 months? Is there anything extra you can give us, Ian?
I think the key will be that strategic investment, having the strategic player come into the project. Yeah, we've always talked about 10 to 15%. We're prepared to sell that down. I think that would be an enormous trigger, because at that stage that would put a value on the project. So you could actually contribute a value to it. Somebody's prepared to pay so many dollars to come in. That will then trigger or help us to trigger all of the other ECA type financing, the debt financing, project financing. So middle of the next year will be a very, very big point for us. And one would hope then that the market's going to be a little bit more receptive to us resource players that have good projects, and we might start seeing some decent returns in the share price again.
Again, Ian, it's a pleasure to speak with you, and thank you for the excellent update.
Thank you, Tracy. Nice to talk to you as usual.